Welcome to AFCRDTV after today's 2-1 defeat to Beaconsfield Town in the Southern League East. I'm here with man of the match, Joe Curtis. Joe, I think your first interview of the season, not a happy one to start with.
No, not at all. I feel like second half we just come out and at times we passed forward, and after that the quality just went, and I feel like it spread through the team a little bit and everyone's quality went, and we just weren't good enough today. I thought we weren't good enough.
So dare I ask, have you had the dressing room door closed then?
Dressing room door closed. We said a few things that we needed to say, and it's important that we bounce back next week, I think. Definitely.
And interesting game to next week, FA Cup.
Yeah, FA Cup. We have to do some preparation, obviously, in training Tuesday, Thursday, and make sure our shape's right, set pieces, get it done properly, and hopefully we can go there and put a good performance in.
Let's come back to today. They're a good team. We know them from 2 seasons ago. I know you were here there. They took 4 points off us, so they do play football. I think they got a lot of the old Egham team as well. They started well.
Yeah, they started really well. What I thought, I don't think we were tight enough to them. Our pressing wasn't good enough to start off with. After 20 minutes, we got the call. We said, let's go press them, let's go get at them. And for the last 25 minutes of the first half, I thought we were the better team. Second half, we come out for maybe 5-10 minute spell. We were the better team, and then after that, the quality just went, and we weren't good enough. We tried forcing long balls, which wasn't good enough today, I don't think. I
agree, but I mean, in that 25-minute spell, I thought we played as good as we played all season.
Yeah, I mean, we could have scored a few goals. Obviously, Bully with the penalty was a good penalty at the post. And we had a few chances that we could have scored. We possibly could have been out of sight maybe at half-time with that 25-minute spell. You're only 1-0 up. It's a dodgy scoreline, as we know, and we weren't good enough second half.
Yeah, you did come out. I think there was an early call for a penalty again on Nab, but just after half-time.
That's what I mean, yeah. First 10 minutes, we were up there, and then after that, it just went. It wasn't good enough for us.
Yeah, they weren't bossing it. It was just more us giving it away.
Yeah, that's what it was. I mean, the quality seemed to go from everyone. Me a couple of times, everybody. The quality just went, and yeah, balls were going out of play, slippy surface, no excuses. But we needed to be better, definitely.
And we didn't really create anything near the end, did we?
We seemed to be forcing it a lot. Long balls, channel balls. There wasn't much passing going on. I don't know whether our confidence went. I don't know what, but we need to bounce back and make sure we do better.
Yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go, and I know we've had a good start to the season.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, I feel like we've had a great start, and I feel like we need to go back to what we were doing, and hopefully we can bounce back next week.
And what about your own form? I mean, you had a few injuries last season, and getting back into the team.
That's it. I'm just happy to be getting games, to be honest. You never know what's going to happen. Obviously last year I had a nasty injury and I was in and out, and it wasn't a great season for me. So to come back and start every game so far this season, I'm buzzing with it, to be fair. I'm buzzing with it.
Well, I know you want to go and do your warm down. Well, I think you do. It'll stop raining now, mate.
A bit, but yeah, I'll go and do it. I'll go and do it, yeah.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Joe. I'm now here with manager Andy Peakes. Andy, I know we've had some good talks this season, probably not now. Disappointed?
Yeah, very disappointed. Not good enough for most of the game for the standards we've set and the standards I want.
So let's go back to, I know you had to make some changes, a few injuries, and they started off brightly. We know they're a good footballing team. Yeah, no, they're a good team. So I've been and watched them. I know they like to pass the ball. We made a few changes, but that's not a problem. We've still got good players to come in. That's the whole idea of the squad. We wasn't at it for 20 minutes. Missed a penalty, and it seemed to galvanise us then. I thought we were excellent then for the next 25 minutes. Probably had enough chances to win the game. We didn't. Well, obviously scored, but that was all we did get. I must admit, when I went in at half-time, I thought it was going to be an easy half-time talk for you. Well, it was not an easy. It was, don't be complacent, don't get too deep, keep the ball. But we went back to how we started the game for some reason, which I don't know what the answer is at the moment. Something we're looking at, but we was nowhere near good enough second half. Invited them on, and eventually they scored goals. They seem to outnumber us in midfield. I think they outnumbered us. I think they got in better positions and were better on the ball than us. I think we got very stretched. They had 4-4-2 second half. They changed the shape because we'd give them a good chase in 20 minutes before half time. Second half they just pressed us a little bit, stopped us passing the ball as easily, and we couldn't find a plan B, could we? Yeah, we couldn't get it out to the wings. I thought the first half we were getting it out to the two wingers. The second half it never happened. The first half we were getting it down the sides of them between the centre half and the full back, and Nabs and Chris were having a field day. Probably we created enough chances to have won the game. We didn't take our chances. Second half they stopped us doing that, and we just, for me, went front to back too quickly, and the game was too stretched. And what about the two goals? Disappointed with the defending? Yeah, defensively we weren't good enough, both the goals, and we haven't been good enough defensively for a few games, so that's been coming. It's a wake-up call to some in there, because that is not good enough for what I want. I'm disappointed because that's the game we need to be winning. If we're going to be challenging, that's the game we need to be winning. End off. If you can't win it, you don't concede a second poor goal. You take a point and stop them getting 3 points. So yeah, disappointed, and we've had a few words in there, and they're going to have a tough week this week. And what about the news? I know Sam went off. Any news on that? Yeah, Sam was sauce. That's a blow. Again, we never would have took him off. Don't like to change it. That didn't help us, obviously. So we'll see how he goes. Hopefully, it will settle down. We took him off, so it didn't make it any worse. Because it was only going to get worse. But we should be able to, get away. We're not playing sunbound for 20 minutes and still to keep a good enough shape to win a game when you're, on top for periods of the first half. So disappointing, and I know that speaking to Joe that even he's kicking himself and he wants to get ready for next week. Next week's going to be even tougher, and we can't have a performance like that, really, can we? No, if we play like that, if we play like we have the last 2 games next week, it's going to be an embarrassment. So we've got a lot of work to do. I need to see a little bit more desire, a bit more work rate than we see today. I think people are turning up, possibly. I think if I've had such a good start, it's just going to happen. Football don't happen like that. When you turn up with that attitude, collectively as a group, not individually, but if you get a few turning up like that and don't want to work hard enough and do the fundamentals, that's what can happen. And if we turn up like that next week, it's going to be a long afternoon. And I know you're going to look at your squad as well, and there's players into the contention then. Yeah, I've got every right to change it after today. I think after the last 2 performances, anyone within reason who doesn't start next week hasn't got a lot they can say. Because we've not been good enough the last 2 weeks across the 90 minutes, nowhere near good enough as a group. And Callum and Westwood and Joel Jesse in contention next week. Are their injuries serious? No, hopefully they'll both be okay for next week. They're both a bit sore today, and we've got a good enough squad for people not to play when they're not fit. Neither of them were fit today, so hopefully with another week's rest they'll be in contention for next Saturday. I know you'll brood on this, won't you? And think about it over the weekend. Yeah, I'll be annoyed. I'm annoyed because we're better than that. I don't mind losing when we're not. When we've played well, when you play against a better team, and they were better today. But I know we should be better than how we've performed. So I also, if the performance is good, I'll buy off on it. You can only do so much. But for me, we underachieved. We wasn't good enough for large parts of that game, and that's something that concerns me. Okay, mate. I'll let you go. Thank you. I don't need love.